Hey, 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 hey. Welcome to She Is Magazine. One of our topics for this month is suicide prevention. The month of September has been designated suicide prevention. So I had asked my friend Z we talked about this a couple months ago. It just never happened. But we wanted to talk about mental health in that space. And with Suicide Prevention Month, she shared some things publicly and very openly. And so I asked her to come on and just sit down and chat with me a little bit and just be, make herself vulnerable and be transparent. So I'm going to pause so Z can introduce herself to everybody. Hey, Z.
Hey, how are you, Rochelle? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
It is an honor. It is an honor. I'm Zakiyyah. I go by Z for short.
Yes.
I'm here in San Antonio, Texas. Originally from New Jersey. I'm a realtor and I'm an activist for mental health and suicide prevention.
Awesome. I didn't know you were a Jersey girl.
I am.
How long have you been in San Antonio?
I've been in San Antonio about 15, 16 years.
Oh, gotcha. So this is like a second home for you.
It is. It is.
Okay. Well, I am, going to jump right in. As I said, September is designated for Suicide Prevention Month. And the only reason I know this is because you made it public on Facebook and talked about your journey and your experience with a suicidal attempt. And I just want to say thank you for that. Thank you for being open. Thank you for, because I'm sure that somebody else was helped in their journey. And I'll just kind of be quiet so we can share this space and you can talk about what that looked like in the place you were in and the headspace you were in, and so we can discuss that.
Okay. Mental health is, it has this stigma on it because I know personally for me, it wasn't talked amongst family, it wasn't talked in our culture or anything like that. So when you thought of mental health or mental illness, you thought somebody that was either in a mental institution, somebody that was bipolar, schizophrenia, just somebody that was like society crazy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got into my 20s where I started to realize my life was spiraling out of control. And it was just the feeling of something's not right, but I don't have anyone to go to because I feel like if I say anything, I'm gonna be judged, or I'm gonna be told to just pray about it, and it's like
that old good
I've been praying.
good Black people advice: just pray about it.
Just pray. Just pray. You'll be all right. Just pray. And it's like, no, something is wrong, and I might need some help. And growing up in the Black community, our strength is presented like a badge of honor. You have to be strong. You have to go through this, and you can't break, and you can't have a nervous breakdown. You can't feel sad. You can't feel any type of emotions that you have because you are the strength 9 times out of 10 of your family. And so a lot of times that is just reciprocated on down generations to generation. And the moment to ask for, I need help, it sounds like you're being weak. And it sounds like,
wow, that's crazy.
Is
I need help doesn't mean I'm weak. That's crazy.
Right.
But that's a reality.
Right. Exactly. And it's like more people should be comfortable with saying, I need help. I'm not okay.
Yeah.
But the way society has made asking for help look like. People go on and on without asking for help until they reach their breaking point.
Mm.
And so stuff in my childhood trauma that I never addressed. And at a young age, I learned how to manipulate my emotions and just turn them off like a light switch. And which was scary, because you 7, 8 years old and you walking around and you're not feeling anything because you have become numb to so much. And you just, as you get older and you don't, attend to it, it just grows with you. And so I mask a lot of things. I put on different masks to fit different situations. Being scared to be seen, being scared to be noticed. So I made myself become more of a mystery. So it was it was like you get, how Halloween you have all these, costumes and masks, you put on masks and stuff. And, sometimes some of the masks helped in certain situations to protect you from certain traumas and experiences. Mm-hmm. But it becomes so comfortable that you can't even tell the difference between the mask that you're wearing and who you really are. And that's when I was faced with at the crossroads, to where I was at a point where I was in so much pain internally. Mm-hmm. And it was so dark. It was just like, all I wanted was to be happy and to not feel pain, not feel, I wanted to be visible because I felt invisible most of my life.
So had you sought out any type of counseling or therapy during those times in your life dealing with trauma?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. As going to therapy in a Black community is it's almost like blasphemy at times.
Yeah. And that's really sad. That's really a sad state of affairs, because there are so many people that need, somebody to talk to without judgment, without somebody saying you're crazy. I mean, and I might be a little crazy, but I need to talk to somebody about my crazy before I go crazy.
Right. Exactly. It's like, okay, I know I'm not all the way there. So I know that part. I need somebody to like confirm that I'm not over the edge about to go. But yeah, so it was like therapy wasn't an option. Mm-hmm. During that time. It was just kind of, you just got to make your way and, find your pathway. And so it was just like everything compiled on top of one another, everything that I've been through. And I just finally got to the point where it was like, I just can't take it anymore. Mm. And I felt like I didn't have anything positive to give anyone near me or to give this world. Mm. And I was just in this bad place that I was like, I'm better off gone than here. And I remember I was in my apartment. I was 23 at the time. And I just remember crying. And I was just like, I had some Vicodins because I had got a tooth extracted, and I had Patron, and I had stopped drinking for about 4 or 5 years prior to that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm popping these Vicodins and I'm drinking, and I'm gonna just let it take its course because I'm done. Mm-hmm. That's it. And I remember sitting in my closet crying, and I remember praying to God, and I said, God, if you real, um, show me the way. And less than 30 seconds after I said that prayer, I get a text message. And this text message, simple as can be, all it said was, "Hey Z, I'm just checking to see how you doing." And at that moment, I felt seen.
Yes.
I felt seen. I felt like somebody out there was looking for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go in the bath. I go to the bathroom. I try to throw up. Oh goodness. I remember driving myself to the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and I tell the clerk, I said, I need to get checked because I just tried to commit suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, "You cut yourself?" I said, "No, I took, I had bought the bottle of Vicodins, and I said I was drinking Patron and stuff like that." So they admitted me, took me back, and um, ran tests and did all that type of stuff. And they had, what do you call them? Not the priest. It's like a clinical therapist that they have at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, she comes and she talks to me, and she's like, we have to report it because you try to harm yourself and all this that. She said, well, we're going to keep a watch out for you
Mm-hmm.
for about 3 days, and give you a list of doctors that you can go, therapists that you can go and talk to.
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed. I really didn't know what was going on at that point.
Right.
And I at a point to open up. I was like, I just want to go home. I just want to go home to my mom. So they released me. She gave me some list of doctors. I still didn't go see a therapist.
So at this point, what was your mom's reaction? Because I'm sure that's probably just something that wasn't on her radar. Like, you tried to commit suicide? What's up?
Yeah. So because I was over the age of 18,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't have to tell my mom.
Oh yeah. Mm.
I didn't tell my mom until I turned 30
Wow.
that I tried to commit suicide. And when I told her, it broke her heart.
Mm-hmm.
One, because she felt like, she was like, I've always told you, if there's anything that you've ever gone through, you can always come and talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that, but it's just something that a child, it's kind of weird to explain, because it's like, I want to come to you because I know I can, to tell you what I'm going through.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't want you to feel like you failed
Oh,
raising.
so how do you get from, oh, I'm really sad, to I don't want to live anymore? I mean, what does that journey look like?
Oh, that journey looks dark. It looks as if you are in the middle of the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
tied with a rope and a brick, and it's pulling you down, and you're trying to fight your way up, and you're trying to fight your way up. And it's like you see the light, and then all of a sudden this wave come, and you get dragged further down, and you just trying to fight.
That's a very, very vivid picture. Very
it
vivid picture.
and it's sometimes people try to understand, and it's like, it's really hard to understand
Mm-hmm.
unless you know someone that has went through it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that is probably the best way that I can put it. It's like you're suffocating, you're drowning, but you're fighting at the same time. It's like, I don't want to live no more, but I really don't want to kill myself.
Yeah, you just
I
can't
love my life.
navigate it.
Yeah, it's like, I love my life and I don't want to be selfish, but I'm tired of this pain. And how can I stop this pain? And the only way that you feel that you can stop the pain is to no longer be alive, and then it's in a moment to where you get to the top, and then it's like you just take this inhale of fresh air, and it's, but you're still not out of the water.
Mhm. So, after the suicide attempt and, not seeking therapy, was there, another time? Was there a time where you thought about it again? Is that, is that something that goes away?
Um, for me, it it took a lot of work for me not to be in that suicidal thought process. Um, for a while, I was scared to live by myself.
Mm,
Um, so I had moved back in with my mom and my sisters because I just didn't know,
yeah.
I was afraid of me. And if, that triggered again, it might not be no coming back the
Hmm.
next time. So I moved in and I made sure that I was there, and there's always somebody home. So if something was to happen, someone would find me. Um, and so it's it's a process that you have to go through. Some have more recurring thoughts than others. I say between from the time it happened to now, uh, I've may had probably less than 5 suicidal thoughts, um, but nothing to the point where it actually led me to
Got
attempt.
Wow. So, before we started recording, we started, I was chatting about, signs that, people can look for, with your loved ones or friends. What are some of those things? And do you work, do any kind of work with suicide prevention or mentoring or anything like that?
I do. It's a foundation here in San Antonio, a chapter here in San Antonio, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
Hmm.
They hold classes, as far as, kind of what to do if a loved one could possibly experiencing, suicide, things to say, um, who to contact, things of that nature. They do events. They do a national walk for people who actually went through fully with suicide,
Hmm.
um, every year in November. And so that was at a time I was really looking to find people that experienced what I experienced. Because everyone that I know, either if they did, they wasn't talking about it.
Oh, yeah. So,
You
was
know,
people that don't look like you that were talking about it?
people that didn't look like me were talking about it, or were open to talk about it.
Right.
Um, so it was like, as I'm looking, I'm like, I know it has to be some type of foundation.
There's some more Black people out here.
Some people, I know I'm not the only one. And I'm like, okay, what is going on? And so I came across, the chapter, the organization foundation, and I was the only Black person for the
Wow.
San chapter. Um, And it was like, I know it's more of us that deal with this, it was
We're
like,
just not talking about it.
I'm like, this is wow. Like, I wish I knew this chapter, was established when I was in the midst, in the depth of my suicidal thoughts and an attempt. And so that's how I took the initiative to start talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But signs are being weary, uh not want to get out of bed, not really feeling like you want to do anything, kind of zombie-ish, like you doing stuff, but you really not here. Like your mind is like completely out of your body. Uh, certain talks, hearing certain people say, kind of can be, okay, wait a minute, why are you saying it? Is everything okay? Like, that's not, if someone say, well, how would you feel if I no longer was here?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you'd be like, well, what's going on? What you gotta tell me? Because that's just, that's not no normal question to ask.
Right.
And stuff like just, really starting to act real different, out of their normal, what you're used to, um, are really kind of the obvious signs.
Right.
For
So
me,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
for me, I hid a lot of it. Um, isolation is a big one. You isolate yourself from people. Um, and so even though there was people around me, no one really knew what I was battling.
Wow. So what was a takeaway? What do you think this experience taught you? I'm trying to see how to word the question other than what it what it taught you. Of course, I'm hoping that you know that you do matter. You are worthy. Um, but I guess what the things that led up to that, what was a lesson that came before that I'm gonna take Vicodin and chase it with Patron.
Call it an end. The lesson, what for me personally was self-love. When I finally got into therapy, I learned that, like, I was looking for love. I was looking for love. I was looking to be loved. And I had to learn that started with me. So once I've learned that, and I'm still learning that, a lot of stuff made sense. Right. A lot. And it's weird to say that my suicide attempt made sense, but a lot of stuff made sense as to why I felt the need to take myself out, and no longer be here. And
how long ago was this? What year was this?
This is, I hit, I believe it's 11 years.
So do you do anything to celebrate?
Good question. No, I think this year probably was the first year I did even remotely something to celebrate. And that was a hard thing. That's been a hard thing too, was for me to celebrate myself.
Mm.
Because, it was, you had to know that you're worthy. And at one point I didn't feel it.
Yeah.
So I had to keep going. But now I'm really focusing more on celebrating. So uh I do acknowledge the date, and I do,
And
say
I guess celebrate, I don't know if celebration was the right word. It's like, how you beat a disease, or you overcame something, because suicide didn't win. Um,
right.
so, I guess that's what I meant by celebrating the fact that, you overcame that. And now you feel like, the truth of your experience, that you are worthy, that this life is worth living.
Mhm.
What part did faith play? Faith and I don't like to say religion, your spirituality play, and where you
Whew.
are now.
Um, my faith was tested. Um, I was devoted into church at the time. I went Sunday, Wednesday Bible study. I was on a praise team. I sung in a choir.
So you
You
can
know,
you can sing on the choir, be in the praise team, go to church, love God, and still want to kill yourself
and still want to kill you
at the same time.
at the same time. At the same time.
Ooh.
Yes. And that what made it so complex and challenging, because it's like it was almost like, God, I'm getting closer to you, and now that I'm closer to you, all of this is like coming up, and I'm frustrated, I'm irritated when I walk into church, and I remember one of the members at the church I was talking to, and she said, Satan's trying to, he's attacking you. He's attacking you because he know this is what you want to do. This is something. So he's attacking you. And it's something with everything that you believe in is being challenged.
Yes.
Um, and my faith, I lost faith after my suicide attempt. I just felt like, how could this even be possible? Even though I'm alive, and even though I prayed, my faith still had been tested, and it took me a while to rebuild my faith. Because one, I realized that my faith was in the wrong place.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Misplaced faith. That's a whole nother discussion. Misplaced.
That's a whole nother discussion, right? I was more faithful in my church and in my pastor than I was to
in
my
your
God,
relationship.
my relationship to God. And, that was a whole smack in the face when I realized that. And so it was a guilt part of that as well, because it was like, I'm worshiping, I'm serving you, and I just
Don't feel like this.
I feel like this, and I'm taking my life, and I know what you say, my life is a gift, and and you play all those thoughts in your head.
Absolutely.
And I was like, and I remember having a conversation with my mom, and I said, my faith wasn't as strong as I thought it was. I was a Christian in theory, but not really in reality, because
Girl,
I let this almost.
So Z, in our last minute, our time is well spent. Give some kind of words of encouragement to a person that may be struggling, and trying to make a decision.
No, you're not alone. Everyone struggles with something.
Yes.
Um, if you have empathy towards yourself, you can have compassion towards others. Reach out to someone, talk to someone, even if it's a stranger. Um, just it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to ask for help. Um, being vulnerable shows your strength,
Yeah.
and um, those masks can come off because you can be you, and it's okay to be who you are. You don't have to wear masks to cover up uh, what you're going through, because somebody is going through it with you.
Absolutely. Or going through the same thing.
Going through the same thing, because you'd be surprised.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Z, for making yourself, vulnerable in this space and sharing your journey. I'm certainly glad you're still here, my friend. Yes, new friend is.
Ew.
Yeah, but thank you for sharing. My desire in all of the interviews that I do is that somebody will be encouraged, elevated, or inspired, and I think we achieved that tonight.
Awesome. I pray it touched someone. I really do.
Yes. Thank you so much, Z. I'll see you somewhere in these streets.
Somewhere in these streets.
See you
Okay.
soon. All right. Thank you. You too. Bye bye.